Hello, I'm Emmanuel Charles, and I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee at the National Charter School Conference, where thousands of charter school advocates from across the world have gathered to network and share ideas on how to fuel, shape, and improve the growth of the rapidly growing charter school movement. Let's take a look.
The National Alliance has now been around for about 10 years. It was a merger of two organizations that were interested in charter schools and felt that you really needed to have a national organization that was advocating for the growth of charter schools at the federal level. So even though we do a lot of work at the state and local level, our primary kind of bread and butter is the federal government, making sure that the next president is an advocate of charter schools, making sure that House and Senate leaders understand what charter schools are, and also making sure that all the rules and regulations that the Department of Education puts together are rules and regulations that are friendly to charter schools.
You know, I want them to increase their network and have people they can reach out to through the course of the year, but I also want them to not reinvent the wheel. I want them to come here and learn what is working well for other people and to adopt best practices instead of just starting from scratch. And I want them to feel challenged and inspired. These people work hard all the time and they need to leave inspired and come away with good ideas and resources.
One thing I would love to gain is to find out ways to get my kids motivated. Being a high school principal, working with kids that are highly at risk, I just want to be able to motivate them, let them know that there is a world out there for them, and their story will end happily if they just complete school and get their high school diploma.
I came hoping that I would continue to build collaborations with other leaders around the country, and that also we would be able to share those best practices that we have at Richard Wright, talk about some of the major issues that kids are dealing with around the country with safe passage, whether they're dealing with funding, facilities, and be able to bring that to the forefront for others and kind of talk about how we can find some solutions that will support kids.
One of the things others could gain by attending this conference specifically is for charter schools. Sometimes we tend to have a bad reputation, or sometimes it tends to be rumors, but you're able to see numerous people get together and how great we are doing to educate our students.
Just left a very engaging conversations about how states and charters can work together. A very important conversation, the dialogue about the importance of building the relationships and partnerships with state organizations. And I saw a lot about how Ed Pioneers, my organization, can assist in that work in building partnerships as well.
I have found organizations and companies that do have the financing, that do have the ability to expand, and not only in a district of Columbia, but nationwide. And for the quality of education that Richard Wright has been giving over the last 5 years, we're prime candidates for them partnering with us.
I attended actually a really interesting breakout session on Facebook and Instagram safety measures. That's something that has been an issue for our students. Students are mostly self-reporting to staff and faculty members. And I was unaware of a bunch of resources that are available for parents, for teachers, and for kids. So that was a huge takeaway for me.
I'm hoping to gain connections with other teachers, learn from their best practices and what they're doing for their students so that I can implement them in my own school. I just came from a great session by Idea Public Schools about rigorous questioning in the classroom to help our students do some more of the heavy lifting.
I'm an advocate for charter schools because I believe that families deserve a choice. To be limited to the school just in your neighborhood without having the option to maybe choose a mass communications program or a language immersion program, I think that puts you in a position where you're not able to move forward and gain exposure and have the opportunity to do that. And so I believe people should have opportunity. I believe in growth through exposure and experience, and I think that charter schools are doing a wonderful job of innovating their curriculums and programs in those ways to be able to serve students in a non-traditional climate. So that's why I look at charter schools.
I'm a charter advocate because education is so important to me. It's been a part of my entire life. And I know that if it works successfully, then ultimately kids will be successful.
I'm a total advocate because as a child victim, I would say, of educational neglect from the public school sector, I recognize that someone had to do a great job, and I felt like I was that guy that could do it better than others. And so the establishment of our charter school, I think, is a model for the nation, and we're going to continue to push it so others can see best practices at its best.
Education is the civil rights movement of our time. And so if not us, who? And if not now, when?
Back in the day, we made a decision that the traditional public school system was not serving all of our kids well, and we wanted to have another option. And so charter schools was one of the options that we fought for. And so I believe it's very important that young people like you, young people coming behind you, that they have more than one option for where they can try to get the best education possible. So charter schools is one of those options.
Well, as the conference comes to a close, I enjoyed myself, and I know everybody else did too. This is Emmanuel Charles reporting for RWN and the National Alliance for Charter Schools. See everybody next year in DC.